Cam 0-0 in the end against Southampton. One obviously that we were thinking that it should be a routine day. We didn't lose, but you know, the red card, I think from that moment on, we just kind of struggled to recover from that, and actually could have lost the game. They hit the woodwork twice. Could have won the game. We hit the woodwork. It was just one of them, wasn't it? Weird one today.
Yeah, it was weird, but I've got no respect for Southampton. You're supposedly fighting for your lives. You come here, you play against 10 men for 60 minutes, and by the end of your time wasting, taking every possible moment to go down with your injuries. It's embarrassing. Relegated.
Yeah, but you're fighting relegation though, Cam.
Yeah, you're fighting relegation. You need 3 points. It's pathetic.
Oh, you're away at Man United. We've been absolutely colossal. You know what can happen against us. In defence, look, I get the frustration, but if you're Southampton, you're down rock bottom of the league, you've changed your manager, you're coming to absolute fortress. I know they were a bit negative, but...
Even irrespective of anything else, we want to be coming here to watch some football. At least if you're going to offer something, do something different to every other team. Don't just... It's such a mediocre style of play. They don't really do anything special. They offer nothing.
At least that's why they're bottom of the league. That's why they're bottom of the league, because they offer nothing. But they've got a point.
There's plenty of other clubs that actually offer something nice in the way they play football. These guys, there's nothing there. Nothing there. Terrible team, awful style of play. All they've got is free kicks from Ward Prowse. There's nothing else there.
Which they nearly scored from.
To be fair, he's a good free kick taker. Can't do much else, but a good free kick taker. But it's a waste of a Premier League spot. Anyway, enough of that.
Looking at ourselves, though.
Yeah, enough of that.
It's like talking to Ty.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, it's the first game we've had in daylight for so long.
Exactly.
You never know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But no,
on ourselves, though.
On ourselves, yeah. I think we started the game quite well. I think it was interesting to see that in terms of combating their high press, we had quite deep fullbacks at the start. You saw quite a lot of trying to make it a little bit easier for De Gea. I think with Wan-Bissaka playing really deep when we're playing out from the back, so there's pretty much always that ball on to Wan-Bissaka. Maybe the centre-backs are a little bit higher. Wan-Bissaka's even deeper, so it gives De Gea that little bit more comfort that he can just find the fullback and helps us play out from the back a little bit better. I think up until the red card, there's no other way of saying it. That's the moment the game changed. Exactly. Anthony Taylor was against us all game. And he is every time he comes here. It's embarrassing. Absolutely. It's pathetic. I can see why it's a red card, but there's no excuse for the handball. It was the other end of the ground to me, but it looked a penalty. I can't see how that wasn't. And every other 50-50, it's gone their way. It's what he does every time. I don't know how he's still refereeing games. Apparently, according to UEFA, he's our best referee because he's the only one that gets picked for Champions League, for World Cups, all that sort of stuff. So I don't know what's going on there.
It's almost like Mike Dean's left the scene and he thought, right, I'll step in.
Yeah, same bald head, same shit performance. It is what it is. But yeah, on to how we played after the red card then. And I think it was just frustrating because I want to see a United team, especially here. Look, there's no point risking I don't want to point.
Yeah.
Go and try and win the game. If we end up losing 1-0, no one's going to remember at the end of the season anyway. Go for the 3 points.
You think you'd rather have lost trying to fight that than take this point?
I think we could have been more aggressive. I think when you go,
I do agree with that bit, yeah.
When you go down to 10 men, I think what we needed to see earlier on is players that can carry the ball. I think it's all very well trying to pass your way and exploit spaces, all that sort of stuff when you're 11v11. But as soon as you're up to 10 men, you've got one player less. You need players that can draw other people out of position. I think Delo had to probably come on, whether it was in addition to Wan-Bissaka, maybe we go to a back 5, or whether it was instead of him. I think Pellistri and Garnacho should have come on a bit quicker, just so they can exploit. If they can dribble past one player, draw someone else out, then we can find space. It's about that more so than
we needed to be more aggressive.
Passing through. Yeah, I think we struggled against the high press, which it's easy bait for them to go and press high when you're playing against one less. But I think mental fatigue as well has played into it because Bruno wasn't. I think it was really strange from Bruno. I thought when he was playing short 5 and 10 yard passes, he was quite
fine.
poor.
Yeah.
No, all the way around.
You thought he was poor then? I thought the first sort of 10-15,
early
dropping
on,
off. Yeah, he's playing short little passes, getting on the ball, he's fine.
Yeah.
And then it gradually kind of got worse
early
after
on,
that.
but as the game wore on, I thought he started to struggle in sort of tight situations. I think that's not so much physical fatigue, it's mental fatigue. Just playing too many games in recent times, and you've got to. I think it's time now for a little bit more rotation. I wouldn't rest the whole 11 at once. That doesn't help anyone.
No.
It's time for a little bit of rotation, sort of gradually freshen up the team.
Did it work? Did it work? And I know obviously the red card changed the game. How was you with the fact that we had Casemiro as the lone 6 and had Bruno kind of like that free roll like he did against Betis, which I think Ten Hag looked at that and probably thought you did quite well doing that, and Sancho further forward as the 10. Casemiro goes diving in with that tackle. Someone mentioned earlier that maybe he thought because there's no one else to back me up here, I'm doing it. But then again, it's Southampton at home. You want to be on the front foot. How did you? Basically, my question is tactically, do you think that was fine to do that?
Yeah, I think, look, if there's any midfielder in the world that lets you play with 2 more advanced 8s or two 10s, it's Casemiro.
And you can't criticise that now.
Yeah, when Bruno and Pogba were here for that season under Ole, I was thinking, if there's one guy that can make that pivot work, or that pair work, it's Casemiro. I'd love to have him. At that point, you didn't think it's a realistic transfer target. I thought there's no way we're going to get him. But now we have. I mean, it's fair enough to try it. It's Southampton at home, as you say. Why not? But yeah, when he goes sliding in, and he does that quite a lot, but
because actually wasn't his best game even before that, was it?
No.
He does this thing sometimes, which is probably just the slight negative on him, is he sells himself, like completely takes himself out of the game, falling over, trying to nip him when the ball's not really there to be won, then they're gone. A couple of misplaced passes. But he usually does a couple of those, settles down, and then he's colossal.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I think at the moment we've still got probably in that starting 11 we've still got 5 or 6 that can't play out of a high press.
Yeah.
I think I don't need to name names. We all know who they are at this point. It's one of those where we're not quite where Ten Hag wants to be yet, and it gets to that point where after the red card as well, we saw we couldn't really play out from the back because Southampton are pressing quite high, and obviously we've got a player less. But we also couldn't really go long because Sancho was through the middle. He's not going to win anything in the air. Even when Rashford was through the middle at times, he's not really going to do that well in the air. The one thing I thought he could have done better there was maybe put McTominay up top just from goal kicks, or just when we're
play off the second.
To try and win something, to try and offer something, get us up the pitch. Because if there's in terms of what Ten Hag's improved, it's when we've got the ball in the opposition half, we've got sustained pressure, sustained possession. That is what we're much better at now. But playing out from the back, first and second phase, we're not there yet because we don't have the players for it yet. We haven't had enough training time to work on it. So it's that situation where, when you see us forced to do that more, play out from the back and be in that first and second phase, we get exposed. I think throughout the season it's been the same sort of situation where when we're able to do what we're good at and what Ten Hag's worked on, we look brilliant. When we do what we hasn't worked on yet and we're not so good at, we get exposed.
Which is natural for where we are, isn't it?
Of course.
We can't expect miracles.
Of course. Look, you bring 5 or 6 or 4 or 5 new players in, and at the start of pre-season, where we are in 5-6 months' time is completely different to where we are now, and we'll be so much better as a team. But yeah, I think at the moment it's just a case where we've got not enough players really, especially with Sabitzer injured. The squad's a little bit small. There's a lot of players playing too many games. I think players did okay today. I think Martinez was brilliant, really, really good. I don't know why he got booked early on. That was again another one of those from Taylor.
And then when it was their player, who I can't remember who they fouled. Nothing.
Nothing at all. It's Anthony Taylor, vintage Anthony Taylor, but he was brilliant after that. The number of times where other teammates put him under pressure, gave him difficult situations to deal with. He's beaten 2 players. If there was a few more of those throughout the team that can evade pressure, can play well with the ball at their feet, not just do a decent job, they're not just secure, they can step past players, they can draw players in, they can sort of find space themselves. They're actually sort of proactive on the ball rather than just decent enough to get out of situations. A few more of those, we'd be in a better place. But he was terrific. You got to say that to him.
Yeah. And to finish off, just in terms of going forward from here, it's important not to lose. Obviously, after last week, yes, we wanted to win, but when the game goes like that, make sure you don't lose. Casemiro's going to be out for some key games though. But going forward, Fulham away. I know Betis, obviously, with 3 goals up there. How would you rotate the squad, and do you think we'll be okay sort of, in the foreseeable, international break coming up as well?
Yeah, I think it's tough. If I was Ten Hag, I'd probably say at the international break, none of you are going away to play for your country.
You can't do that.
Well, just tell the countries they're all injured. Honestly, they need a break. They need a week off football, all of them, and that'll do them the world of good. Because otherwise, looking at the second half of the season, especially still in 3 competitions, there's a lot of fixtures coming up, a lot of games. Things are going to start coming on the decline a bit, and I think in recent games we've gone from a team that's been a second half team to now 30-minute team, and it's just going to keep getting worse until we get some rest. I think the midfield situation is concerning. Today, after Casemiro got sent off, at times, obviously, to try and help us play out from the back, Bruno was dropping in really wide, almost into fullback positions either side. It was leaving just McTominay there, so if we do lose the ball, that's a problem. And going forward, look, yes, Bruno deeper is sort of the solution, because I think Ten Hag's worked out you can't have Fred deeper because we'll just lose the ball too much. Bruno can at least help us progress the ball up the pitch. That's again trying to sort of get around our limitations by having Bruno deeper. But going forward, you can't have Bruno deeper alongside Fred or McTominay. It doesn't work. So it's going to probably be McFred.
100% it will be.
I think Betis away, fine, maybe we can get away with it. But I think in the Premier League going forward, even Fulham away next week.
No, that's home. Fulham at home. FA Cup.
Here, it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough, and look, it's squeaky bum time now. It's a stressful one because we're on the decline. there's, as much as I want to be optimistic about, I think we are going to have some rocky games in the weeks ahead. Just got to get to the international break, hopefully beat Fulham. If we do, we're at Wembley, things are looking up.
Yeah.
But we just need to get through that game, get the win, and recover, regroup.
Awesome, bro.